Welcome to the Geeky Things podcast. I'm your host Eric, and today I'll be talking about a special event on the comic book calendar. It's Free Comic Book Day.
Free Comic Book Day.
Free Comic Book Day.
For the uninitiated, Free Comic Book Day takes place on the first Saturday in May. It's an annual event that sees the comic book industry's major publishers banding together to release free comic books for the event. Comic book stores around the world host special events and people come dressed up as their favourite characters. From superheroes, movies, television shows, cartoons and video games, chances are there's a comic book out there that suits your taste. I met up with Scott, who works at King's Comics in Clarence Street, Sydney. Can you talk a little bit about what is Free Comic Book Day?
Free Comic Book Day. It's an annual day held globally for comic stores. Comic samples are shipped in to be a giveaway to really encourage customers to come into stores. I know there's probably a lot of emphasis on the comics being big samples for upcoming comic stories and things like that. Ideally, it's to bring people to brick and mortar comic shops. I mean, that's what I feel like the idea was when it first began. It's a great annual day for comic stores to be celebrated and people to physically come to the stores and pick up comics.
Yeah, was there an incentive to get dressed up?
We did have May the 4th, so there was some Star Wars cosplay this year. We like to sort of reward that a little bit with a cosplay competition. Mm-hmm. So we've done that every year as well.
Can you tell me a little overview of how your day went?
I've been working in Kings for a long time, so I've seen sort of some ebbs of some highs and lows, and today I always sort of prepare for the worst sometimes if things may go wrong, or when you have such a big day, it's about managing such a huge line of people and making sure it's enjoyable for everybody lining up. We do a lot of prep during the week to make sure that we don't have to do too much on the day, and we make sure we're fully stocked with things that we need, because once the doors open and you've got a line of that many people, it's hard to sort of stop and address problems. So you want to sort of foresee everything that could go wrong. And like I said, I've worked here a long time, so I knew a lot of things that had to be covered. Yeah, otherwise it's probably the most full-on day of the year for any comic shop, I think.
And Christmas?
Even more than Christmas. I know they have Black Friday sales and Cyber Monday sales and things like that now, but it's bigger than any of those days for us, yeah.
Next up, I had the chance to talk with a fan dressed as Carnage.
I am Carnage from Spider-Man.
Alright, Carnage, what would you recommend as a first-time comic for someone?
First time comic? I can't answer that question, but I can tell you, look into your interests and apply it to a comic book. For example, I like the edginess, so I went with the 90s era of comic books, right? And that's called the Dark Age, and Carnage was big during that. So that's why I chose the 90s. Or if you're into a franchise or something, say you're into Sonic the Hedgehog, they have Sonic the Hedgehog comics. Or, you'd be surprised what has a comic book. Not everything is a TV show, but a lot of things do have a comic book or a manga or something. For example, Street Fighter has a few comic books.
So basically everything has a comic book right now.
Almost everything. There was going to be a Super Mario comic book by the Archie creators, but the Archies, the people who made the Sonic the Hedgehog one, but it got cancelled. There's only concept art out.
That would have been interesting to see.
Yeah, I was going to have my favorite character, Wario, in it, which would have been cool.
What comic books did you come out here to get today?
Well, I got a Street Fighter one, I got a Loud House one from a mate, I got a One Piece one from my other mate who's coming later, but I got worried in case he's going to miss out, so I got him that one. I got this Mighty Duck, something Ultra Duck, because it looked kind of cool, so I got that. What else did I get? Can't remember them all, but I did get, let's see if I can name another one. The Street Fighter one was Street Fighter versus Final Fight. And also, I got a Pokemon one from a friend.
Oh yeah, I got one of those too. Let's take it that you're also into video games, not just comics.
Oh yeah. I like most things, but some things I don't like. I could never get into Star Wars, for example. I'm more a Dune guy, actually. Yeah. I kind of like Dune because it's a little more, full on, I even like the 80s movie, to be honest. Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining me.
No problem.
I think I'll leave it from there. Thank you.
Thank you. No problem.
Carnage is an adversary to Spider-Man, belonging to a race of parasitic alien organisms known as symbiotes. Carnage has bonded with several hosts over the years, but its most famous iteration is its first appearance in 1992, The Amazing Spider-Man issue 361, when it merged with a serial killer named Cletus Cassidy. Fun fact, a symbiote is an organism that lives in symbiosis with another organism. And symbiosis is when two or more different organisms mutually benefit from working together. An example of this in nature is in the relationship between ants and aphids. Ants will transport aphids up a plant so they can feed, and in return, aphids excrete rich sap, which is harvested by the ants. Since its conception, Free Comic Book Day is the day that celebrates comics for everyone. It was a pleasure bringing this story to you. I'd like to thank the lovely staff at King's Comics, Carnage, and you. Till next time, I'm your host Eric for the Geeky Things podcast. Thanks for listening.